This is Dorian Rainey at UT Dallas's Health Professions Advising Center, telling you about how to write effective personal statements for medical and other health professions applications. This is complicated business only in the sense that it requires you to look within yourself. People write whole books about how to write personal statements, and that's entirely too complicated. This short video will walk you straight through how to write something which is authentic, sincere, and evidence-based, and that's really what you need. The big thing I want to cover today is the process, from preparation through drafting and revision, to come up with a finished final product which feels authentic but also polished. You're going to use this process over and over because you'll do a lot of writing over the course of the application cycle. Not only do you have a personal statement to write for each of the application services, some of the application services have multiple essays, and then the secondary applications have essays. It's very possible that you could be writing dozens of short essays over the course of this application cycle. But the process that we talk about today is what you'll use over and over again to do those essays quickly and effectively.
How quickly are we talking here? Not too quickly. After all, application essays are important. Nothing else in your application can better express your maturity, self-awareness, and clarity of thought. It's worth putting serious time and thought into each essay, especially the personal statement. Follow the fast and effective method in this video. You can expect to spend still hours working on your personal statement over several days. That may not sound fast to you, but the alternative can lead to weeks or months of agonizing self-doubt, anxiety, and draft after draft of rewrites. Think of it this way. You can either write essays the slow way or the pro way. At this point of their education, most applicants only know the slow way. It looks like this. You gather a few ideas, you meticulously construct those ideas into an essay with structure and meaning, and then you revise it for polish and shine. Sound familiar? It's probably how you write essays for class. But with a personal statement, you get a few days or weeks later, and you get to wondering if that's good enough. Your roommate or a coach or a Reddit post says an essay must be this or that, and suddenly that carefully constructed essay you wrote looks like just a stack of polished bricks. So you throw it out and you start again, wondering if some other structure or other set of ideas would have served you better. I see that in applicants all the time. Applicants doing 3, 6, 10 versions of their essay over and over again over months in an endless parade of variations, trying to achieve something that they could have achieved on the first draft with more planning. The pro way, and that's what we're walking through in this video. It takes the same steps, but it short-circuits that cycle of dissatisfaction and rewrites by giving much more time to the brainstorm and planning phases. Pro essayists often spend 10 times as long on this phase than amateurs. They don't just gather ideas, but brainstorm exhaustively so that new self-insights can percolate and self-assemble like growing crystals. That's what we call the preparing step in this video. And after that's done, you'll decide on a personal, true answer to the prompt and select a few ideas out of your brainstorm that perfectly suit and express that theme. That's what this video calls the thesis and outlining step. Typing quickly down that outline will give you a first draft that contains excellent content and is ready for revision where the real magic happens. During revisions, you cut away unneeded words or phrases, shape the structure, replace vague phrases with specific ones until you're left with a marvelous and artfully authentic short work of self-expression. That's where we're headed today.
The first and maybe most essential preparation step is the brainstorm linked below. It asks you questions that you will end up using for all of these essays and also for interview preparation later. My experience is that every hour you spend on this brainstorm will save about 10 hours later, because our objective is to get all of the pieces together and write good essays once, instead of having to rewrite essays over and over again as you think about new things you might want to discuss later. So let's do the preparation up front, Not only is it going to save you time on the personal statement we're about to write, but it will be used over and over again throughout the admissions process. Most valuable time you put in on this whole application process may be right here on the brainstorm. Each application services prompt is slightly different, but regardless of the phrasing, the intention is the same. The admissions deans want to know who you are, why you're interested in this health career, and even though they already know the activities you've done because you listed them in the application, they don't yet know what you learned from them or what those activities meant to you. So that's going to be a big emphasis of the essays that we're about to write. Who you are, why you want to do medicine, and which experiences shaped your interest in the profession. What all these prompts have in common is simply the words personal statement. It has to be personal, that is, uniquely you, and it has to make a statement. This is one reason why chat cannot write this for you. It has to be you, and it has to be authentic. Chat can help you later for the revising, though. The big things that you want to accomplish at this stage are to create something which is personal and makes a statement, something which is authentic and experience-based, that says something real about yourself. There's a lot of misinformation about what you need at this step, and let me dispel it for you now. Your first draft does not need to be unique. Actually, many students have similar health professions experiences, and yet that does not interfere with them going on to health professions. It also doesn't need to be poetic because you're not applying for Shakespeare School. In fact, the same direct, well-supported statements that you would hope to receive from your doctor, that's exactly what the admissions deans are hoping to see from you. It's not a creative writing contest. Toward the goal of creating a draft which is authentic and experience-based, let's first start by thinking about what impressions do you want to give about yourself. And this is going to be more difficult than you think, because many students have an idea about why you want to do medicine that you've been telling people maybe for years, which is not entirely true. Maybe it was never true. Maybe it was true once, but it's not anymore. And that's not what we want. That's a mask that you put on to deflect stupid questions at parties when somebody asks why you want to be a doctor. What we're really looking for here is a genuine exploration of what you now are hoping to get out of this profession. How do you like to work with patients? What tasks or populations do you find appealing within the medical world? What things do you not find appealing? And it is totally okay to talk about that too, as long as we're basing it in your experiences. We're going to chart out the exact impressions you want to give, and then start picking experiences that support those impressions. For this step, I want you to actually write out, even if you have to pause the video, 3 things about yourself that you want readers to understand. So, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, people like me. That would be 3 things. I am a leader who's interested in research and wants that to be part of my one-on-one patient care career. Okay? That would be 3 core important things. Maybe it's I'm a single mother whose stance on everything changed after I had my kid, and I'm very connected to my community, and I'm looking to do medicine in the future to provide the medicine that I didn't have growing up. That's whatever you feel like is important for readers to understand about you. Let's list those things right now. 1, 2, 3. The next step is going to be surprisingly easy. You've already thought of 3 things that seem genuine and real about yourself that accurately portray your interest in the future health career. Next, simply rephrase those 3 things as a single sentence. So, if you were the research-oriented person, maybe your single sentence is, I'm a research-focused leader who wants to do one-on-one health advising. If you were the single mother from our previous example, maybe your single sentence is, I grew up without good medical care, and since becoming a mother, I want to provide that care for others, so now I'm focused on medicine. Do it now. And that one sentence that you come up with, you can label it thesis. This is the core idea that's going to underlie your whole essay. And whether you actually state that thesis or not, it's going to underlie every sentence that you put in this essay, such that when somebody gets to the end, even if you didn't write it out word for word, they're going to know that you're a research-focused leader with an interest in serving patients one-on-one, or a single mother from an underserved community that you're deeply connected to, or whatever. If we were doing this as a live in-person workshop, at this point I would take a few minutes to actually talk through some people's thesis statements, and while we were talking through it, you would have an opportunity to refine your own. Please don't assume that the first idea that popped into your head when you watch this video is going to be your best idea. This is a good moment to take a moment, reflect, think through, maybe write out 2 or 3 different ideas, combine the big thesis statement that you want people to understand. But keep in mind that it has to fit in one sentence. A paragraph's worth of thesis is just too much territory for this one short essay to cover. The thesis is not going to tell your whole story. You could write volumes about you as a person and your motives and your experiences. It just has to tell a short, I say 3 points, a short, important, true thing about you. There's no best answer to this. As long as it's accurate, this essay is going to do its job. Once you have a thesis statement that you're happy with, and of course it's not going to be the optimal best thesis statement that anybody ever wrote, it's just going to be a true, accurate statement about yourself. Once you've got that, we're ready to start supporting that thesis and actually drafting your essay. You always support with your experiences. It's the only credible way to describe yourself. Everything else is pure idealism. So start with experiences in your background that changed or affected or illustrate those core traits about yourself. If you did the brainstorm, this is going to become easy, because out of all those experiences you listed, pick out experiences that support every point of your thesis. Don't fall into the trap of picking experiences that express only one point. That's not powerful enough for this short space. Pick out experiences that show at least 2, and better yet, even 3 of those 3 points that you want people to discuss. We want a reader to get a strong impression from every paragraph of the person you are and what matters to you. From the brainstorm, pick out 3 to 5 experiences. That's all you're really going to have time to discuss in depth. 3 to 5 experiences which strongly support your thesis. The next step is to order those experiences. Chronological order is fine, and actually that's the most common way to discuss these things. Start at the front and discuss them in time order. Sometimes chronological order isn't the order that matters. Sometimes it's something like, I wanted to be a doctor when I was in elementary school, and then I discovered research when I was in high school, and I went all the way into college before I came back to my early interest in medicine with the following experiences. Whatever order you decide to talk about them, the important thing is you're going to walk the readers through your journey in the same order that it mattered to you. The important thing to do at this point is to stick to that outline like glue. Just write your way down the outline. That'll keep you focused and directed and thesis-centered. If you find yourself trailing off into other stories, that's holding you back from the tight, focused, authentic essay you're trying to write. Stick to that outline and write your way right down it. Now, how long does it take you to write a page? I type slow, kind of a long time. It might take me an hour and a half. It might take you as little as half an hour. But you've already done the hard part. You've got an essay in front of you on this outline, which is authentic, genuine, thesis-focused, experience-based, and logically ordered. At this point, just type it. And you don't need to do any research because you were there. You know what's important from every point of this. Take a few minutes and type it out. Revisions are going to take place in 3 phases. There'll be a self-revising phase where you focus on, is this authentic? Is it really me? If you have doubts whether you have captured an authentic picture of yourself, ask your mom, ask your enemies, ask your friends. But don't ask a ton of them because not everybody's opinion really matters here. The only thing you have to determine at this phase is it really, truly, genuinely me? If it is, you're ready to move on to the next phase of revisions. During the next phase of revisions, we're trying to fix the mechanics, the sentence structure, maybe pare away sentences or even whole paragraphs that weren't really needed to drive home your thesis. This phase, you call it mechanics or grammar. The Writing Center can be very useful here. If you have a friend who's a very good writer, they can help you with this part. This is one phase where AI is actually very good, but you have to constrain it because if you just tell the AI a prompt like, how would you make this better? Or recommend a rewrite of this essay. It has a very strong tendency, and I've done a lot of examples here, and every time it rewrites your essay, one, making up things whole cloth that weren't really genuinely you, and two, phrasing things in a soulless approximation of other people's essays. The essay that you get out of an AI rewrite always sounds more forgettable than what you had to begin with. Here's how you can use the AI effectively, though. Instead of saying, rewrite my essay, say, take this essay and fix the mechanical problems without changing any details. That's important text to include in your prompt because otherwise it will tend to erase the parts that were uniquely you. The third phase of revisions needs to happen with your professional pre-health advisor. Through the applicant support process, we've assigned you to one of our veteran advisors to work with. The big thing they're looking for is, how would an admissions dean read this essay? How does it look different from other applicants? Does it seem to answer the prompt questions effectively? Does it seem to leave out important experiences that are elsewhere in your application? These are questions that it just takes experience to learn, but which our advisors have helped hundreds of students to answer. So, working with your advisor, expect feedback on why didn't you talk about this? Would you consider talking about this more? Tell me more about this experience and I can give you some pointers on what to include or how to change it. They're trying to get you from a essay that you already said is authentic, and which the second phase already corrected the grammar and mechanics. They're trying to get you towards something that's going to add to your health professions application so that when your whole application, essays and everything, goes in front of the deans, they're going to have a holistic, accurate impression of the same impressions that you want to give. Now, having done the preparation and drafting portions of this video, you've already got a clear, concise, focused, authentic essay. Maybe you even already paused the video and took time to write it. If not, you're within a couple hours at most of having a finished first draft. You already have guidelines for revising: self, mechanics, and then advisor. After that, your essay is going to guaranteed be something that contributes to your application and supports you in a medical school. Is it the best possible essay? Probably not, because there's no such thing as a best possible essay. Every person you show this to in the future is going to have some different idea of what an essay should look like, and that doesn't matter. You've got something that's going to meet your needs as an applicant. You can stick this essay in a folder, come back to it before you apply to professional schools next summer just to make sure that it's still accurate, that the things that you believe today about yourself and your motives haven't changed. But if they haven't, the essay that you're writing right now will do just fine. Don't be tempted to come back and rewrite it over and over again or keep fiddling with it, because you've got better things to do in life than obsess over this single one page of writing. You already made something that's authentic, it's genuinely you, it's thoroughly revised. It will work great for your application. Don't worry about it. Enjoy. Go forth and write.